Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. We are finally here for an episode of Life with Spice. But first, how about some chit chat? So, I was actually driving around. I had to drive my husband to the field and, pick him up and drive him over here, doing that. And I was just kind of checking out the section line, plants, flowers, whatever is growing there, grass. And coming home, I noticed that we have dandelions growing in our yard. Like, this is not typical, you guys. Like I said, dandelions are in the spring, and gumweed in the fall, and sunflowers, tons of sunflowers all over. It's just shocking because we have dandelions, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I think I have to go pick them. Oh, and alfalfa, if we had at least 30 more days of an actual growing cycle, we could actually have a second cutting of hay. But yeah, it's just been such a crazy year, and I really hope that October is just as beautiful as September was. And flies. Oh, they're terrible. They're terrible. Okay, but anyway, we are going to go to this note-taking part of our section, and we were talking about sage. Yeah, sage. So 3 things. Dream big, be true to you, you are worth it, and let's go do this video. So sage, it's not just for turkey stuffing, you guys. And actually, my sister-in-law and I were talking about sage because she grew sage and I grew sage, and she's like, what do you do with sage? And I'm like, I just like the plant. I just love the plant. I am bringing it in. I'm going to show it to you. It's just cool. But anyways, there's lots of varieties of sage. White sage, red sage, purple sage, clary sage. Okay, we're talking about the basic garden sage. It's part of the mint family, and it's warm and drying, which warm makes sense with the mint. It's also a bitter herb. Has lots of properties to it. Aromatic, astringent, carminative, diaphoretic, antiseptic. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial, anticatarrhal, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antispasmodic, antiviral, nervine, and anti-mutagenic. It also gets the blood moving and stops neuropathic pain. It's huge with fighting infections and helps diminish secretions that the body is producing. Because the astringent part is the tightening and toning part of this. You can see my little bit of my plant. He needs to be cut. The astringent part of this is that tightening and toning part, and it works inside on the linings and the mucous membranes and stuff like that. And so you would hope that it would stop all that, the excess drainage and stuff like that. Uses also for sore throat, sage and echinacea mixed together as a tea was really good for that. Really big on fighting infections. And there's been lots of studies on sage. Like, okay, we don't hear a lot about sage, but there's been lots and lots of studies done on sage, and one of them was with Alzheimer's patients. It showed improvement in their memory versus it diminishing and decreasing. It stimulates the memory. For oral health, this is cool. It's great for your teeth, helps relieve pain, mouth ulcers and canker sores, bleeding and spongy gums, and cold sores. So guess what's going to be put into my cold sore lip balm? Along with everything else. I think I'm going to add some sage. Menopause. It actually helps the excessive sweating, that's the astringent part, and hot flashes. Helps with the mental fog and normal menstruation. You can do a tea or a tincture. It aids in digestion, helps ease gas and bloating and cramping of the stomach. is great for people who have a hard time digesting fats, meat fats. Okay, take it before or after. You can just do a tea, and or you can heavily spice your food. I don't know, sausage is heavily spiced with sage. Varicose veins, it helps with the appearance of them, not the solution, not the problem, but the appearance of them because of its astringent, tightening, and toning abilities. So it's witch hazel with sage. So I would fill the jar up 3/4, half to 3/4 with sage, dried. I like dried. And then witch hazel. They say leave it for 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks is always a good infusing time for witch hazel, because my witch hazel is always meant to be 2 weeks and it ends up being, 4 to 6. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, and then you can put it in a spray bottle and just like spray the veins and rub it in a little bit, or let it dry, air dry if it's not too saturated. I haven't tried this. I'm going to try it. I should have my daughter try it. For slow healing wounds, those wounds that just don't want to heal, or I know we used to put this, my daughter had a toe that she would always seem to bang up, and you get she didn't really have a hangnail, but it would be infected and red, and this is as a kid. We would actually soak it in sage. Just put a little bit of water and some dried sage, and just let her soak it. Or if she was doing something, pack it around it like a poultice compress. And it was amazing how fast that would heal up. So it's great for slow healing wounds. It actually helps relieve the pain right away, and it also helps fight the infection that's in there. Hair growth. Sage is huge, you guys. Hair growth. Now, this is mainly the essential oil of it, but I'm pretty sure you could do a vinegar rinse with sage. But the essential oil improves blood circulation to the scalp and the roots, and it's great paired with rosemary, because we know rosemary is great for hair. But pair it with some sage, and actually you can do a hot oil treatment. Yes, hot oil treatment on your hair. Just mix it with some castor or some olive oil and some drops of sage and rosemary, and give your scalp a good, maybe just pamper yourself. I know, preaching to the choir here, but then I don't take my own advice, but pamper yourself. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of others, and that's what we do. Okay, sage vinegar. We've done tons of vinegars. It's a scalp rinse for dandruff. It's supposed to be really good for dandruff in your hair. Dilute it 50-50, and then that way you can just spray it on your hair when you get out of the shower and really work it through. So for the teeth portion, dry it and powder it, and actually just put it on your toothbrush. Go back to the cinnamon video last November in there, 9 months ago. Go back to the cinnamon video, and we did a tooth powder. I mixed it with coconut oil. It works great. It's actually one of my favorite toothpastes. But you could add the powdered sage to this, and I think it would be huge. We didn't add sage, did we? I can't remember what we added, but if we didn't add sage, definitely add the sage. And if you haven't tried it, definitely try it. It really works well on your teeth. It looks grosser than heck when you're brushing your teeth and spitting it out, but I mean, really, really, I love it. Plant prep. Really just pick it throughout the season, just the leaves. That's what I do. And then I just dry them on a cookie sheet. I had this, didn't I show you this? Mint video. I just lay them on the cookie sheet. I let them dry, throw them in a jar. My piano is full of jars, let me tell you. Yes, jars of all these herbs I have to put away. Okay, so you can use it for tea, you can use it for culinary, tinctures, tooth powder, facial steams. Of course, the essential oil, you can infuse it in an oil, and it works for muscle relief. So just, 4 weeks, pack it in a jar with some oil, strain it really good. Muscle relief, sore muscles. And we've done a few of those. I mean, there's a lot of herbs you could mix and match and make your own special muscle relief blend. It is great for bath soaks and foot soaks, pain relief and circulation. Caution. I should have a caution sign. Caution. During pregnancy, do not take in large amounts. Culinary is fine. Fine. If you're nursing, don't take in large amounts unless you want your milk to dry up. So if you're done nursing and you want to dry up faster, drink some sage tea every day. Don't use therapeutically long term. Okay? Like stop, give yourself a break if you're doing the therapeutic treatments. Therapeutic would be 1 to 2 grams in tea 2 to 3 times a day. So you can see how much. That's a lot. Not a lot, but it's a lot of, sage tea. I give this to my boys when they do get a sore throat. Mix it with ginger. Another little tip. That one, fresh tincture is 1 to 2 ratio with 100% alcohol. Or if it's dried, it's a 1 to 5 ratio with a 75 alcohol, 25% water. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. As far as culinary goes, everybody knows that sage is in the turkey stuffing. That is what everybody relates it to. Now, looking on the internet, and there's a thing called smudging. I'll let you look that up. What smudging herbs is. Because we're not doing that. I don't know what we're doing though. I think we're doing, what are we doing? We're doing culinary stuff, yeah. So, I'll see you in the kitchen. Quick ghee that we are making and we're going to use. So you need 1 cup of ghee. You need 2 tablespoons of powdered oregano. You need 1 tablespoon of powdered sage, 2 teaspoons of powdered thyme, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and 1/2 teaspoon of powdered paprika. And you just let them sit for a couple weeks, melt the ghee, and let them sit, and then you can use it. I don't always powder my herbs, so don't feel like you have to. Okay, into our chicken. I'm going to do this the quick and way that I do stuff. So you need about 1/2 cup of flour, and we're going to add some salt and pepper to my little Ziploc bag there. And I have about 8 thighs, and they will be skinless when I put them in there because I'm going to skin them. Just 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon pepper, whatever your preference is for salt and pepper. And literally I stick all of them in the bag and shake it up so they're all kind of powdered with a little flour. It's just going to be to keep the juices inside. Just coat it a little bit, nothing major. You can use whatever you want. You don't even have to do this step if you don't want to. And in my cast iron skillet, I'm adding about 1 good 2 tablespoons of the ghee we just made with those herbs in there. Over like medium heat. I'm on a number 3. And just put all the chicken thighs that we just coated, put them all in the pan, and we're going to let them cook for about 5 minutes. Don't touch them, don't mess with them, just let them cook for 5 minutes, medium to medium high, in there. And let them cook, and then we will flip them over for another 5 minutes. And while you're waiting, you can get ready. We need 1/3 cup. I actually poured a good 1 cup of chicken broth on top of this, plus 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and about 6 to 8 fresh whole sage leaves that I put on there. And you want to make sure this is boiling before you put it in the oven. And obviously, I've got it boiling. So I'm just going to put my sage around it, tuck them in, and stick them in the oven. And we're going to bake them for 25 to 30 minutes in a 375 oven until they are no longer pink, okay? So check them. Make sure they're totally done. They smell heavenly, let me tell you. They really do. So put them on a plate, and in your pan, bring the liquid that you have left to a boil. If you don't have anything left, add another cup of chicken broth mixed with 1 tablespoon flour and 1/4 cup dry wine with some sage. I already have the sage in there. Okay, so we're going to combine those in the skillet and mix it, bring it to a boil for about 5 minutes, a light boil. So it reduces to about 1/2 cup to a cup depending on what you used. And if you prefer cornstarch, use cornstarch. If you don't want to use the wine, use some extra chicken broth. Ignore my stove. I get a little Western when I cook. So yeah, it's dirty. But just cook it till smooth, and that's your gravy. And just to let you know, my kids loved the chicken. The gravy, they were like, okay, but they loved the chicken. And last to our pear and sage biscuits. I am doubling the recipe, so I have 2 cups of chopped pears. I have 1 tablespoon butter. Okay, it will be 2. It'll be 2. And then I need a tablespoon of chopped sage. Could you use dried? Absolutely. I had fresh, so I was using fresh. And you just want to melt the butter in the skillet and saute the pear and sage for about 8 minutes till it gets nice and bubbly. Then we are going to add 2 tablespoons brown sugar, and we're going to cook it till it is totally melted. Take it off the heat and let it cool. In my mixing bowl, I'm going to add 3 cups flour, a teaspoon of salt, and 5 teaspoons of baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. Into 1.5 cups buttermilk, I added 1 teaspoon of orange peel, or you could add orange zest, but double it if you're adding orange zest. And then I needed 10 tablespoons of butter that you just want to chop up and chunk out to make it easier for your mixer. And add the butter to the bowl, not the buttermilk yet, just the butter. And I just hit it on high for like not even 2 minutes until it's nice and chunky. Food processor works too. Then you just dump your buttermilk and orange peel into the batter and mix it just till it's incorporated, and then add your pears and fold them in. I lined mine. You can spray them if you want to. Fill them with an ice cream scoop or however you fill them, and throw them in the freezer while you preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Bake them for 13 minutes, absolutely 13 minutes, until they're golden brown. These are delicious. They are so sweet and tangy. Spot on. And there you have it, another episode of Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, Life with Spice. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.